Hello world, and welcome back to, this is segment 2 for Plane Time with Ben Coleman. I'm your host, and this is still kind of catching my breath from segment 1 with Gene Conrad here talking about the events going on in and around Sun and Fun and Aerospace Center for Excellence. Gene, let's do it again. You ready?
Let's go.
You up for it?
I'm up for it.
Let's go. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about the NOTAM. And everybody knows what the NOTAM is, don't we?
Yes. Don't ask me to come up with the acronym again. I know what it used to be, but now I forget what they call it now.
Well,
I know the NOTAM.
They kind of mixed it up. Notice to Airmen.
Well, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Now it's something completely different.
Educate me, teach me.
I don't remember. That's the problem.
Damn it. Okay, look it up. Look it up
Yes.
and let us know. Okay, but the NOTAM is not out yet.
It is not out. It should be out sometime in February. Obviously, a very, very important document for our fly-in. We encourage everybody that is flying in, or if you're just bored, get the NOTAM, read the NOTAM when it comes out. Make sure it's in the cockpit with you. Study it before you get here. It is very, very important. Last year, we had a new approach that was developed for the fly-in that starts over Kermit Weeks Place, over I-4. So now the approach starts over Kermit Weeks Place, goes to now the racetrack at Sun Tracks, which is next to the Parkway that's there in Polk County, and then you go to Lake Parker from there, and then you're called out by the controllers that are there at Lake Parker, and then you start, you make your way on in following I-4. Make your left-hand turn at the Keg Tower, and then come on into the airport. But it's important to study that. It's a new approach. If you haven't been here in several years, it's very, very important to study that. But we have something to help you, too.
Gene, I just had a thought for this Notice to Air mission. By the
There
way.
you go. There you go.
Things just pop into my head. I just don't imagine where I
Yeah,
come
maybe
from.
that thing in your ear.
Oh, I've been held out.
Yes.
I've been given
Been
up.
called out right there.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Okay. For the Notice to Air missions, I just had a thought. The simulation is so important these days.
Yep.
And useful. Why don't we have kind of like a simulator program to simulate the approach into Sun and Fun from the NOTAM?
Well, it's funny you would mention that, Ben. We actually have that. So obviously we prepared it before we came on here today. But something that they've been doing at AirVenture for the last several years, they call it SimVenture. And they've been, again, the last 5 years. So you can get on whatever
Pilot
dates.
Edge.
What's that?
I'm sorry.
No, I mean, you can get on with Pilot Edge. I think that's where you're going. Pilot Edge is the company, or the sim company. You can get on and you can fly the approach into Oshkosh over the last 5 years. But now you're going to be able to do it at Sun and Fun. And why this is important is they actually have FAA controllers on there. For these set days, these set times, you can fly the approaches into Sun and Fun. Now, I believe it's going to be March 8th and 9th. And we'll send out information about this to make sure our pilot friends can do it. But you can sit in the comfort of your home or your office at work that day or wherever you are and fly the approach into Sun and Fun. And again, FAA controllers that have not only worked Oshkosh, but have also worked Sun and Fun. And they want to make this, and they work very, very hard to make this as realistic as possible, just to get everybody tuned in, honed in on flying this approach. Our approach is a little bit tricky flying into Lakeland because of the hard turns as you come into, in the terminal building, and you're told to, turn east, left, or right, or east or west, based on the runway for the day. But you're going to be able to do that all the way down to the flag people on the ground. So. Once you land, you're not done. You're going to have to continue to taxi. Speed it up on Alpha, which becomes a runway 10 left or 28 right. Once you land on the green or the orange dot, but you're going to taxi all the way to parking and following our flag people as well. So they're making it as realistic as possible. So whether you can make it or not, hopefully people will join and participate. But also definitely if you're flying in, which we want people to fly in. This is a fly in. That's what we are. Whether you're a general aviation parker, you're someone who's just coming for the day. You're a home built person. You're camping. You're vintage. You're seaplane. Bush wheel. We have a bush wheel place now. So for all big Tundra tire friends, light sport folks, ultralights. I mean, the whole gamut. Warbirds. If you're flying in, we encourage you to join that. And also, again, the NOTAM, very, very important. I've read probably hundreds of NOTAMs in my day, just growing up at Oshkosh, because I just love reading that stuff and understanding and appreciating it. So that way, when I'm sitting on the ground listening to everybody coming in, I know what they're doing and why they're doing it. But if you're in that airplane, you need to be prepared as you come into our event.
It is. It can be challenging, but if your situational awareness is there, head on a swivel, and you know what to anticipate.
Yes.
The danger are those who haven't gotten plugged in.
Correct.
That don't know what they're supposed to, where they're supposed to be, and when, and how, and why.
Yep.
But it is very much, the FAA has worked very hard to help make that situation come to pass, and it all pays off.
And even the FAA with the new approach last year, they produced a video that I believe is still on our website. Obviously, I'm sure the 2024 NOTAM is probably still there. Again, the 2025 NOTAM's not out yet, but you can study that. There's just minor tweaks. But again, the NOTAM should come out next month. But there is a video again that the FAA produced. It's very, very well done. So you can check out that video as well. But again, when we put out information on Sim and Fun, get on there. I'm sure I'll be hand flying that thing too. It'll be a good time. My 17-year-old, he is all about flight simulation. That's one thing with the young people. They are on computers constantly, whether they're on iPads. They're on, they have their own yokes and their rudder pedals and stuff at their homes. My kid is going, he'll fly like a UPS 747-8. He'll fly from, LA to Bangkok or something like that. And, he'll take off, autopilot goes to sleep, gets up to land. I mean, that's what these kids are doing nowadays. So, but again, this should be, great for our folks getting ready to fly in.
Well, and as soon as we can take those programs and teach the programs how to change tires, brakes,
oh yeah,
how to set up a carburetor, how to adjust flaps, and by the way, wings credit. The FAA actually recognizes this forum as an educational session for your wings credit of both AMT and your pilot. There will be a code at the end of this production right here.
Yes.
Remember that code, and you go into the website there at SPANS. And you can put it in and actually get credit for observing this. And again, we do thank the folks at the FAA. There was always a joke, I'm with the FAA, I'm here to help you. Well, no, they really are. I mean, we have lived through that era of that type of FAA oversight, and we could always go to, if you go to SPANS, if you haven't been to SPANS, go to SPANS and log in. Sorry to steal your time here, Gene.
Oh, you're fine.
It's very, very important to get plugged into that because they need the participation as well. And put your email address in there, and there you contact your local reps. Bob Jex is a rep. I'm a rep. He's a lead rep. I'm just a rep. But
you always got to be a leader.
I yield to Bob. I yield.
Yep.
But the thing is, we're here about safety, and even Gene, it's so instilled into you the way that you came up and was raised. We talk to ourselves a lot, and there's people that don't understand when you say 10 and 2/8. They don't understand that. We encourage you to question that if you don't understand it. There's ways that there's information. If you don't know how to get the information out of this system, you're missing out on an awful lot. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to tell them that that's runway azimuth directions. I've just add a 0 to it. But
spell azimuth. I can't spell it.
Azimuth?
Is that what it is?
It is azimuth.
Yeah.
Runway. Yeah.
Yep.
I think it is. I have to let Obi 2 spell it for me in my ear.
Yeah, there you go.
But
we have help.
Azimuth.
Azimuth. There you
go. Tell you, with over 3,000 volunteers helping you put this on, there's always new and innovative things coming. And there's things that that you can't share and should share yet. But if I was a fly on a wall, I would think that there's going to be some very, very new and different demonstration teams this year at Sun and Fun.
Yes.
And some of it will be televised, and we also want to recognize your production studio there at the Aerospace Center for Excellence and give Dave a shout for all of his hard work.
Yep, Dave Callahar does a great job for us.
And there's a reason that you come here to this forum, Florida Aviation Network. You could do it at your own production facility there. But this is your way of getting out and expanding, because as you mentioned before about Dennis Dunbar, getting out and seeing what's going on, this gives you another venue, if you will, to get this information out. And you're the cheerleader.
Absolutely.
You're
Well,
cheerleader.
this is a completely different audience, obviously an audience that's very, very near and dear to our hearts, because we need people to come to our event. I mean, you know, we have, again, over 500 exhibitors, but they are coming because you at home and others are coming to our event to come see them and participate and, you know, check out the latest and greatest in the aviation world. So the participation, and, you know, I drove over here an hour and a half this morning to be here with everybody because this audience is very, very important to us, and we need people to fly in and participate, you know, in this event each and every year because there's so many aspects that, you know, are important, and people, I want to see you. And, you know, we have various programs as well. If you're flying in, you know, as far as an aircraft camper or you're a day tripper, you know, go to our website and, you know, find all that information because it's very important, and we need everybody to participate. So it's important. And I will also say, you know, we were talking about it earlier, there are only so many fly-ins left in the United States. I mean, you know, obviously AirVenture is the granddaddy of them all. Then you have us, you know, you have what's happening out in Buckeye, Arizona now, AOPA, and their partnership with the city there. Triple Tree, various, you know, different events. You know, you have your weekend air show, but as far as a fly-in like we produce, and some of those I just mentioned, you know, there's only so many, and you know, the support is very, very important to us to make sure we continue on for the next 50 years.
Well, I'd like to give a plug to another little fly-in up at Sentimental Journey. If you ever get a chance to get up there in June and deflate,
Yeah.
it's a perfect place to go and deflate. Sentimental Journey, Lock Haven, Pennsylvania, the home of the Cub, and it's where the Cubs come home at the end of hopefully a year. And every June, the Cubs gather there, and there's anywhere from 30 to 40 to 50 Cubs, and we have a great time up there.
Yep.
The DO. And it's just a good kickback, laid back. Not nearly as substantial as Triple Tree, but it's fun nonetheless.
Yep.
And anytime you're around airport people and airplane people that are having fun, it's a good crowd to be with.
Yep.
And we teach people, and the kids, like the stroller derby, you mentioned that on Saturdays.
Oh yeah.
It's teaching the kids how to interact and work in and around airplanes and airports.
Well, what's interesting, you bring up the kids and Saturday and the stroller derby, you wouldn't believe the amount of folks that come back that are now young adults or older adults like myself, that they got engaged and their interest was blossomed at Sun and Fun.
Mm-hmm.
The KC-135 demo that was there last year, the pilot, he got involved in aviation because he lived in Winter Haven and came to Sun and Fun. And so here he was back last year flying the KC-135 demo. We've had F-18 demo that came in several years ago, and the pilot of that aircraft flying the demo was from Winter Haven as well. I don't know what it is about Winter Haven. There must be something in the water over there. But that's what it's all about, is getting these kids to look up and, you know, getting them engaged, stop looking at their phones all the time and looking down, but look up to see what's happening. And that's what it's all about, and it's happening. I mean, if you think about, you know, our programming and what we've done over these last 50 years and the people that are coming back now, you know, our alumni from our programs are flying for Delta Airlines, are flying for Frontier, are working at, you know, large MROs around the United States, or running airports, or doing various things in aviation. It's important, and they've got inspired by being at Sun and Fun or AirVenture or Triple Tree or Sentimental Journey or wherever. And that's why these events are important, because, you know, they may see it on TikTok or Facebook or, you know, Instagram or whatnot, but being able to, you know, to see it, touch it, feel it, the power of these jets, whether it's the F-30, we have the F-35A demo coming this year, the F-16 demo, Viper demo, the Growlers are coming, so there's 2 F-18s that fly together, and we have other demos that we have not announced yet. The Blue Angels will be with us as well, but then all of our civilian performers, two that will be with us that come for free, by the way. So when they go to these other air shows that you see on the weekends or whatnot, those air shows are paying for the civilian performers to come. They are volunteers for us. They come, they give us their time. Obviously they're having to move these airplanes across the country to get here as well, so there's expense for them. We put them up in hotels and give them rental cars, but they're come to our event for free to help us inspire the next generation of folks. So it's important, if you can, stay in touch with us. You can join us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, go to our website, join our newsletter, but also our performers, join them and watch what they're doing and where they're going around the country as well, and help promote them, because it's, they do a lot for us by showing up for free. So we appreciate it.
I was going to mention the newsletter. I'm glad you did. So it keeps me from forgetting it. But the newsletter is very important.
Yeah, we're putting out a newsletter once a week right now. So if whatever it is we're planning or getting ready to announce, we just announced, put out a new newsletter yesterday on Friday. We're doing it Fridays each week, but it keeps you up to date on what's going on, all the new programming, the things that are coming. We're doing drone soccer this year. The Worlds are coming to Sun and Fun. We're going to be doing it in the pavilion on Thursday and Friday of the event, so from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. each day, Thursday, Friday. So we're going to have kids from around the world in middle school that are coming, actually middle school through high school that are coming, and will be participating in the World Drone Soccer Tournament at Sun and Fun. So we're excited. That's a cool thing. I haven't seen it, but I know the people that are putting it together are pretty excited. But kids and families from around the world are coming to participate. So it's a new element for us.
Do you have any nets up?
Yeah, that's what it is. They actually have blow-up cages with nets.
It's cool.
So they can go and they can fly and do their thing. So Thursday are all the preliminaries and, the qualify for the finals on Friday. But that'll be pretty cool right there in our pavilion. So come out and enjoy that. It should be a good time.
It's safe. It brings a new definition of the term eye-hand coordination.
Yes.
Trust me.
Yes.
And if you've ever tried to fly a drone, try it sometime. If you never have, if you are a pro at it, you have, there's careers. People basically.
Well, drones are great, right? Drones are great, but there's a lot of controversy around them right now. I don't want to get into it, but whatever's happening in New Jersey, so we'll see.
These are safe.
These are safe.
Okay.
But drones, Part 107, that operation, that's the future. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of development. I know the FAA is working diligently to how best to incorporate it into the National Aerospace system. That's a very, very difficult task for them because it's evolving and changing every single day. But it's coming. It's going to be part of our life. It already is, but it's only going to grow from here. So lots of work to do.
It's Gene, tell me a little bit about what's coming up in 2026. Well, have you planned that far ahead, by the way?
Oh yeah. So this is our joke. Yeah, no, we're planning. We're always planning. Again, this is our 51st. Turn up the fun at 51. But for 52 and 53, for 52 and 2026, our theme is going to be we are going to celebrate the 250th birthday of the United States of America. So expect a lot of military, expect a lot of patriotic stuff. But we are getting ready for that. And then in 2027, we are going to have an international theme and flavor. We're actually going to look to bring some airshow performers from Europe over here to the United States to Sun and Fun. And then also we're going to be celebrating the 100th anniversary of Lindbergh's trip across the Atlantic. I will tell you, my first airplane ride was in the back seat, sitting in my father's lap, in the Spirit of St. Louis, a replica that's hanging in the EAA Air Museum. That was my first airplane ride.
You were in that airplane?
I was in that airplane, flew it. My dad flew it, or actually Vern Jopes was probably flying it in the front, but there's a seat in the back, and I was sitting in my dad's lap, and that's my first airplane ride. So I have a picture of that, pretty special stuff. But we're going to be celebrating the international theme in Mr. Lindbergh in 2027.
You just brought up a name I hadn't thought of in years, Vern Jopes.
Yep.
Billy arranged for me to get a ride in Lumen Overcast.
Yep.
And they found out, well, you're a pilot, aren't you? You multi-engine rated? You unclicked, and Vern, he was a man's man. He was a good man.
Yep.
But he let me actually fill the controls.
Yep.
Of a B-17. What an experience. But if I hadn't have been at the airport, I wouldn't have been able to do that. I'm trying to get the kids to the airport.
Yep.
Parents, get the kids to the airport. You'll learn something. Hang on a fence, if you will. Be a fence.
Yeah, but don't be afraid of the fence. I hear a lot.
No,
when I was running the airports, that the fences keep you. Fences are necessary. Unfortunately, we live in a very litigious world, so we have to protect and do all those things. It's just part of the business and part of the nature of what we do, and safety is obviously very, very important. But, don't worry about the fence. Go to the business. Go to the business that's through the fence, and go in there, ask questions. Ask them to show you an airplane, get involved. Don't be afraid of the fence.
There's a
find
lot
a
to
building,
learn.
find some folks.
Yeah.
Our T-hanger friends, they all love to, talk about aviation, and go talk to somebody. Don't be afraid of it.
And if you know how to operate a broom,
Oh yeah.
you might be able to operate a broom.
Yeah, go sweep a floor in a hangar.
Yeah.
They all need, interns. Get your hands dirty. It's what it's all about.
They'll
Get
show you how to
involved.
do it.
Absolutely.
You show the spirit, we'll show you the way.
Yep.
You just sidetracked me. Oh, I'm just bubbling. I'm bubbling with information here. Merit-based, and we're talking about excellence. Aerospace Center for Excellence. If we don't strive, as you mentioned, we're not going to be perfect, but we're going to try perfectly to do what we're trying to do here.
Yep.
There's a lot of good information that is available, but you have to know how to access it. If you don't, ask somebody that does know how to access it. Speaking of which, in August, I think we have John Golia. John Golia was the first NTSB board member that was a mechanic, presidential appointee. And John is still active. He's president of PAMA, Professional Aircraft Maintenance Association. And John has been a mentor for so many people that I see some synergy with PAMA and of course, Sun and Fun, but Aerospace Center for Excellence that we want to get PAMA more involved in. And I'm on the board for PAMA. So that's a little shot for PAMA there. But we've got to really focus on bringing people to the venues and not just looking at it through this. This is one way. This is one way. If we can't get you any other way, we want you here. But this will drive you to the real thing, because we need folks that are the shakers and movers that put your hands on. And this is, again, Aerospace Center for Excellence. You can get your hands on an airplane there. Some way, they'll make it happen.
Yeah, and we've been talking about, young people and what we're doing for all them, but we, in the museum, even on, I forget which Saturdays they are, we have Wings and Waffles. I think it's the first Saturday each month, but this last first Saturday, I believe we did the Bueller build, right? Mm-hmm. So we brought in folks, moved Wings and Waffles into our Bueller Restoration Center, and we did Bueller build, and they were popping rivets and doing all kinds of stuff and working with metal and whatnot. So even if you're a kid at heart, right, we have programming for everybody at the Aerospace Center for Excellence.
And again, being a kid at heart, did you ever go out and play in the mud? Gee, yes.
Of
the
course.
Answer is yes.
Yes. Doesn't everyone?
Of course. And sometimes the weather could be an issue.
Why are you jinxing me?
If you let it become an issue, it will not be an issue because the weather's going to be perfect this coming April, the first week in April. It's going to be perfect. There might be a couple of showers here and there. It might get a little chilly. Bring a coat, bring a jacket. And learning how to roll with it, I think that's one thing that I had learned early on, is not to let the weather slow me down. Because I was a young man on a mission. And that mission was to learn as much as I could about aviation. And if it was cold outside, I got cold. I warmed up. If it was hot outside, I did sweat. I broke a sweat more than once. It's a matter of not letting things get in your way if you're wanting to have make an accomplishment. And an accomplishment, if you come to Sun and Fun, check in the morning, and you stay there all day, that is an accomplishment because it's a lot of walking, it's a lot of fun. The tram system, by the way, is great. I got to hand it to you.
Well, I appreciate that. I have a great team of volunteers that do that. I will tell you, it was not great for our 49th, but it was great last year. So we improved that. We are not changing it. So it should be equally as great, if not better, this next year as well.
And whatever you do, try to get in one of the environmentally controlled trams. They got air conditioning.
No,
heat.
we don't. Yeah, no, we don't. Can't afford that. But to that point, though, I mean, it's a long day. To your point, it's a long day out there. You know, the exhibit buildings, we have lots of shade, though. There are trees or exhibit buildings. We have air-conditioned tents. Even if you're not a VIP and you're not paying the, you know, for upgrades and various things like that, you know, we have in our Future in Flight Plaza, for example, we have the Innovation Showcase. We have the Family Oasis for young families. We have the International Tent, the International Oasis. So for our international visitors, is back as of last year. You know, so lots of opportunities to find shade and air conditioning, and visit Skylab, visit the Florida Air Museum, take a break. You know, but come see our assets in the museum, and there's plenty of opportunity to get out of the sun for whatever period of time you need to re-energize and get back out there.
Gene, I just had another vision. I love it when I have these visions. You could actually go to Sun and Fun and just camp there for a couple days.
Absolutely.
And that way you don't have to worry about driving in and out.
Whether you're flying in, you can camp right out there under your wing, or you can go to our RV camping on the west side of the campus and hang out. And so there's really no excuse, right?
No.
So if you drive in, there's opportunities for air conditioning and shade, but if you're camping with us, there's all kinds of opportunities, and all the amenities you would expect are all there for you.
A buddy of mine, Jeff Hanna, flew down from Atlanta. He's a Delta captain. Brought him and his dog and his RV-8, and they went and camped for 3 days there on the grounds. And I said, Jeff, you're welcome to come up to the house and you know, hang out. I said, Ben, I'd rather stay here on the grounds.
Yep.
It's kind of cool. What goes on at night around here is kind of interesting. And I said, interesting good or bad? I said, no, it's interesting good. There's a lot of good things going on. And the security, I've got to hand it to you. There's security there to where you don't have to worry about anything happening bad to you there with your security staff. They're going to be on something bad well before it becomes an issue.
Yeah, I mean, we have great partners with the Lakeland Fire Department, Lakeland Police Department, Polk County Sheriff's Office, our security volunteers. You know, so it's all locked down. And we have to, because, you know, we've got all these assets out there, all the blood, sweat, and tears, whether you're a home builder, warbirds, vintage, again, all the different aircraft types that are out there, but also our military assets, and we have to protect those things. And so we're secure, and it's a safe environment for everybody.
And, you know, another beautiful thing about this, Gene, is aviation and aviators in general. It's family. And
Absolutely.
We look out for each other. And there's a lot of sharp people there, again, looking out for, if not their asset, if they're camping under the wing, other people's assets. And they will address you. They will challenge you.
Nicely.
And, yeah, of course.
Nicely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But it's okay to be challenged. It's okay. Just don't get up, thank them, and explain to you what they're doing there, and just it'll be fine. Gene, we're going to wind this up. It's flown.
I know, these
Literally.
segments have gone fast. I mean, I don't know how it goes this fast, but
It's because you're having fun.
yes, absolutely.
But we do want to remind our viewers here to stay on board afterwards and get that 4-letter code, or I think they're numbers, 4-digit code. And I could just give you the code now, but I'm not. So you need to go ahead and pay attention, watch the credits, get the code, and we will look forward to seeing you and another fantastic guest here on set. We will see you in the next show, which will include Dr. George Pateska, and we will see you next interview.